Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You're live with Ontario Reshard on the Ontario Reshard Show on KLRJ Jam OKC86Radio. And today our special guest is Miss Shana Simone. How you doing, Miss Simone?
I'm doing great. Blessed and highly favored. How are you, Ontario? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're doing great, doing great. It's a privilege and honor to have you on.
Awesome.
Like I said before, I'm sorry that we couldn't do the Facebook Live. We kept having some tech difficulties, but we're going to get through it, I promise.
That's fine.
Yes, ma'am. So, of course, you're from the city of brotherly love with all the famous Philly cheesesteaks. And I was told if the bag ain't greasy, it's not going to be good. So of course, a lot of great talent has come out of Philly. There's a Boys to Men and Jill Scott, the legendary Roots crew, and the list goes on and on.
Black Thought, yes.
Yeah. So, of course, your name has been added to that list of artists that, has come out there and did some major things as well. So, of course, our introduction to you was Forgive Me, Lord, which was your debut single that was produced by Delaney Land, which, everybody knows that falls under Todd Delaney's umbrella. So can you share like a brief, story of how that all came together?
Yes, Todd Delaney is venturing into a production realm, and he's offering it to independent artists, giving them a plethora of information and opportunity that they wouldn't typically be able to tap into as an independent artist. So he makes all of his people accessible to you, his producers, musicians, even his attorneys, his whole network of people. And you sign on and you get assigned a project manager, and they see your recording from beginning to end. It's a 30-day process, start to finish. And by the time 30 days hits, you have a radio-ready product, mastered, mixed, ready to be distributed. So it was amazing. It exposed me to a lot of musicians that I hadn't met before in the industry. I've been back and forth to Chicago a few times, found out about the SOAR Awards through him, and was able to meet some amazing musicians, such as his bass player or his guitar player, Stephen Dukes. Mm-hmm. And just who I found out is a friend of yours.
Yeah.
So it's a small musician world.
Yeah. That's what I always tell people. The industry is smaller than most people think.
Yes, definitely.
Mm-hmm. And so, of course, like, that song has done some major numbers. And it's been a blessing to people all over the world. Of course, it's been played on the radio. And, of course, you have the different digital platforms that people have tuned in from. And just been blessed by the song. Like, have anybody personally came to you and like, hey, that song, Forgive Me, Lord, has been a blessing to me.
Oh, it absolutely has. And you know what? I'm so glad you mentioned that, Ontario, because that song actually opened up opportunity for me, for someone. It touched somebody to the point just this year that they decided to sponsor my next project. And I didn't even share that testimony with you, but I went and I sang at a church, and they were so blessed by it. The pastor was so blessed. He wanted to seed into my ministry. And I had been praying about, God, I need a budget. I need money. I got to get a new song ready. I got the SOAR Awards coming up, and I had a specific producer I wanted to work with, but could not afford him, technically. And this pastor literally seeded into my ministry, which allowed me to record on even a higher level than I expected to be able to the second time around. And out comes my new single, Love Light.
Yeah.
So I every time I sing it, people tell me, I've had people, in tears, and I actually broke out in tears. It's so funny because I recorded it, and the way Todd Delaney does it, you you get your music and then you take it to a studio local, put your vocals on it, you send it back and they mix and master and they they make it sound all like it's like it's supposed to.
Yeah, for sure.
And the first time, I never forget, I was doing a client's hair and they sent that song back to me, and I had my earbud in doing my client's hair, and I had to leave my station because I was so overwhelmed. I just started praising God and thanking God because I was just so happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
So it even touched me as if I hadn't even written it the first time I heard it in its full production.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, those guys, they're real professionals and they work pretty fast, and they typically they can knock everything out the first time through.
Yes, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And like we mentioned, as we found out, I got to meet some musicians such as Stephen L. Dukes, who plays for Steve. I think is he Todd Dulaney's MD, I think.
Yes, mm-hmm. And lead guitars.
Yes, so I got to meet him, and working with that level of people is just so. I'm so honored to say that I was able to have that experience. I wrote "Forgive Me, Lord" for the saint and the sinner.
Mm-hmm.
And the purpose of the song is, I know I've done a lot in my life that I don't even feel. I feel that God, He still blesses me in spite of my downfalls and the things I've done in my life that I'm not too proud of. But He still has blessed me. Yeah. And I feel that even if you're a saint or a sinner, we all have a heart of repentance. And I feel that this song speaks to the saint and the sinner because even if you don't have a relationship with God, if you come to God and you ask Him for forgiveness, He's going to do it. And that's what this song is about. He's going to forgive you, and He's going to continue to bless you, and He's going to continue to let you know that He has not forsaken you. And that's what "Forgive Me, Lord" is about.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And now we're going to fast forward to the new release that's coming out. We've been able to get exclusive listen on it, and we've been able to play it exclusively and also get it over to a few other stations as well.
Awesome.
So with Love Light, how did that come about?
So because of the blessing that I received from singing "Forgive Me, Lord," I was able to work with this producer. His name is Carvin Haggins. I grew up with him in Philly. He's a platinum award-winning, Grammy-winning, Grammy-nominated producer, songwriter that I grew up with, and I technically still could not afford him. But because of our, us growing up as friends and stuff, he still allowed me to record with him for still a fraction of what people pay him. But he's known for he did pretty much the whole first album for Music Soul Child.
Yes.
He's worked with Faith Evans. He's worked with everybody from Lil Wayne to you name it. So if you look up Carvin Haggins, his discography goes on forever and ever. And I'm just so honored and blessed to have worked with him. So I didn't write this particular one. I wrote "Forgive Me, Lord," but I didn't write Love Light. Carvin Haggins, and it's a production company that works with him called the Ring Group. And they're compiled of just some amazing musicians and producers and just engineers in the industry in Philly. And I'm so honored to say that I worked with them. And even though I didn't get to write this song, I know that it's going to open even more doors for me and put me on even more stages than I imagined I could get on. So I'm just so excited about it.
Yeah. And guys, if you haven't tuned into the show and heard it, it's a hit, certified hit, from the arrangement lyrically and to the arrangement musically. Is from start to finish. It's definitely a solid song. I'm not just saying because you a guest with us today, but just as a lover of music and as a musician, it's a great song. And as soon as the first measure starts, to the end, it's gonna keep you moving. It's one of those.
Thank you.
It's one of those.
I tell people I want you to turn it up and roll your windows down and just let it pierce your soul.
Yeah, and it's one of those, as they say, you could two-step to it, even though it's a gospel song. It's a feel good song, so you can even two-step to it.
Yes. So my goal as an artist is to So I like to mention people like Corinne Hawthorne or even a Kiki Wyatt. Kiki Wyatt's an R&B singer, but she's as easily accepted on an R&B stage, gospel stage. Sorry. So I like the songs that come out of me are always inspirational, but my artistry to me is a combination of R&B, gospel, and jazz. So I like an R&B feel because I like for my music to be relatable, more relatable to the masses. So I'm aiming. I put "Forgive Me, Lord" out, which fell completely under the gospel genre. But going forward, my goal is to try to take more of an inspirational R&B approach, which is the plethora of what Love Light is. As you can hear, it has an R&B feel to it, and I'm praying to God that it ends up on not only gospel stations and in the CCM genre, but also in R&B.
Yeah, definitely have that crossover ability.
Right.
And
Right.
it's a song that, you know, everybody from all races, all ages can sit down and listen to.
Yes.
So that's definitely a good thing because that doesn't, you know, limit you to one audience.
Right.
So I know in your bio, you mentioned you're becoming known as a gospel R&B singer. So would you say, is it safe to say that you're a rhythm and praise artist?
Rhythm and praise. You know what? I more so use interchangeably. I use gospel R&B and inspirational R&B. I try to lean more towards inspirational R&B with a gospel approach. I don't know. I'm kind of a mixture. So yeah, let me see. How can I say it? I want people to still see me. I'm definitely a godly woman. I feel, you know, I have a gift from God. I know that for a fact. So what I always, even when I do my shows and my concerts, my audience knows that even if you come on my show and I do R&B and jazz in with my gospel, everybody knows that no matter what I do, I honor God, I reverence God, and He's always in the mix, no matter what. I'll even take R&B songs in my shows and twist the words around and add inspirational or gospel lyrics to them.
So almost like the hymatones that they used to sing behind Anthony Hamilton.
Right.
Yeah. Because they do something similar. They'll take like an R&B song, or they'll just make up a song on the spot. I've seen them do that as well, and take people to church with that.
Right. So yeah, that kind of approach, and I may even put a little scatting in there. I try to make a jazzy vibe to it. As you can hear at the end of Love Light, it has I don't want to say jazz, but it has like a what you call it? I cannot think of the genre.
Like a fusion.
But yeah, it's kind of like you can hear a couple of different genres in the music, the way the music was done. That's what I really love about it. So I called Carvin Haggins and I said, Carvin, I have the SOAR Awards coming up. I sang "Forgive Me, Lord" last year at the SOAR Awards. I've recorded about 3 songs in this past year, but none of them were quite what I wanted for the SOAR Awards stage. So I called Carvin and I said, listen, I have an emergency. I have the SOAR Awards coming up, and I don't have a song that I feel right to get on stage with right now. What do you have? I want an inspirational and R&B feel. What do you have? He said, let me see what I got. I'm going to get right back to you.
Yeah.
So he sent me that song. He said, take a listen to this. It actually written for Lettuce.
Oh, wow.
Right. So they were planning.
She's a great artist as well.
Exactly. They were planning to let Lettuce record this song. He said, but you know what, sis, I'm gonna let you get it. And when I listened to it, I said, this is perfect. This is exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm just feeling real good about where I'm at musically right now.
It's amazing. Yeah, shout out to Lettuce. She's another great artist. If you guys haven't, for whatever reason, heard of her, go definitely look her up.
Yes, for sure.
So I must shift gears a little bit, okay?
Sure.
Okay. So being an artist, like who has been the most like influential to your career? Or who's giving the most advice? I'm sorry, good advice, because a lot of people can give advice, but it doesn't necessarily mean it'll be good. But who has given you the most good advice to help you?
Ooh, I could name a couple of people. So, my first, I would say the first person that really poured into me that was so super sincere about it and really just made me wrap my mind around never giving it up was Tamala Mann.
Okay.
So I performed in 2016. I was in a competition on the radio with the Steve Harvey Morning Show. And they started out with artists from all over the country, and they dwindled it down to 4 of us. They flew us to Atlanta to the Steve Harvey Neighborhood Awards, and we all sang in a competition, and Tamala Mann was one of the judges. So I didn't win, but when she saw me backstage and I got a minute to talk to her, she said, "Sweetheart," she said, "you have a gift, you're talented, you have a beautiful voice." She said, "Just because you didn't win tonight, don't let that take you off course." She said, "God, you're singing for a purpose. God gave you this talent." And she just really, really poured into me.
Yeah.
And she said, "Don't ever give up." I think she put her first album out when she was 40-something years old,
Yeah.
her first solo album. Right? So watching her career just spoke volumes to me, and seeing Tamala Mann's career evolve. So she's one of them. When I was backstage with at the Soar Awards last year, I got to talk to quite a few of the artists, and intermingling with Todd Dulaney. You know, I met a lot of big artists around him. So every time I meet an artist, I'll ask them, "What advice do you have for me as an up and coming artist?" And a lot of them unanimously say, "Stay true to who you are.
Yeah.
Don't try to be like nobody else. Don't compare yourself to nobody else." And those are the main things that I get consistently. But at the Soar Awards last year, I got a minute to talk to Michelle Williams from Destiny's
Yeah,
Child.
she's talented as well.
And yes, and she said a lot of instrumental things as well. She said, "Where are you from?" I said, "Philadelphia." She said, "Oh, girl." She said, "Philadelphia." She said, "You got everybody there." She said, "You got to start right there." So she started naming people like Adam Blackstone.
Yeah, he's
I
awesome.
said, "Yep." "Oh, he's amazing." And she started to name. I said, "Yep, I know." She was naming people. I said, "Yes, I know who that is. I know that person." Yeah. She's like, "You got to start right there."
Yeah.
She said, "You already got your network." So she pretty much mimicked what my brother told me. Brian Moore, he's a drummer in the industry, and he says the same thing. Tap into your network
Yeah.
of people you know,
Yeah.
like locally, and that's what I've been doing, and that's actually been really, really helping me a lot. And just having those people in my corner, I can call Brian Moore at any given time, and he will answer the phone for me, and he is so amazing. I mean, the plethora of information I get from him, the guidance, he educates me, and he really helps me along the way. So those people that are in place, I keep that circle of people around me, and it's been so instrumental in the evolving of my career. Yeah, so it's so many people I could name, like I said, but and Todd Dulaney, he once he gets to speaking and giving motivation and pouring into people, he'll get a group of others around him and just start talking. You're all ears.
Yeah.
I just feel like whenever I'm in that atmosphere, I'm like a big sponge. I just soak it all up and hold on to it.
Yeah. I always tell people sometimes, unless you're just in the middle of nowhere, start in your area and then branch out from there.
Absolutely. Start tapping right into your network of people you know. If you don't know a person,
Introduce
ask
yourself.
around.
Yeah.
I was trying to get around. I was trying to get like in the network of Stephanie Mills, because I'm sure I'm 4'11" like her. I'm a very petite woman, but I have a big voice.
Yeah,
and I
for
like
sure.
to sing a lot of her music. And I was planning to try to do a Stephanie Mills tribute concert, and I was trying to network around to get in her network of people. And I started asking around, and I was told who to call, and I just kind of started working that circle, and I got somewhere with it, but it's going to take time. So I'm just patient.
Yeah. It's all, like I said, it's all about timing. So it will come.
Yeah, all the time, and it takes patience. You really, there's a lot of days where I feel like this is a a labor of love. A lot of times I ask God, "Oh Jesus, why?" I'm not ungrateful, Lord. But this when I'm asking God, "Oh, how do I keep going? How do I stay motivated? How do I continue to feel like I'm relevant?" And you pretty much just have to stay humble, stay teachable, and just, be willing to grow and to learn. And I've learned a long time, when God places you somewhere, when he places you on a stage or in a room with people that you don't feel that you're, I don't want to say worthy of being around, but you're asking yourself, how did I get here? You have to say to yourself, if I'm here, it's because God put me here. I'm meant to be here. And if I'm here, I belong here. Right? So I try to keep that in mind when I walk into a room. I'm Shana Simone walking in, but Shana Simone is walking in just like Jacqueline Carr is walking in.
Yeah.
Shana Simone's walking in just like Tampa LeMan's walking in. You know what I mean? And it keeps me humble. And I try to just I just always try to remind myself to just always thank God, always reverence him when I realize the opportunities that I'm exposed to.
Yeah. And now we come to the point where we dig into your business.
Okay.
So we're going what they call it, spill the tea, I guess. But it's not gonna, I promise it's not gonna get too crazy.
Okay.
So you're from the city of brotherly love, of course.
Yeah.
Philadelphia. So, of course, across where you guys are known for the cheesesteaks. So, like, in your opinion, for a person that's never been there, where would you tell them to go? And why?
You know what? So everybody knows about the cheesesteak place on South Street, Max's, right?
Okay.
It's on Boyz II Men's music videos. Everybody talks about it. To me, I personally don't like Max's cheesesteaks. I think
shots
it's
fired.
overrated. And they put cheese whiz on their cheesesteaks.
Oh, wow.
To me, that's not a true Philly cheesesteak. I personally do not. Max's is not one of my favorites, but Boyz II Men put them on the map. That's what people think. People think if you don't, like you said, if you don't have grease falling down your arm and in the bag, then it's not a true cheesesteak. Not so much.
Okay. I've heard that, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good places in Philly to get a good true tasting cheesesteak. But to be honest with you, and this might sound funny, you gotta go in the hood.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure you know that everywhere you travel, the best food is in the hood.
Yeah, from soul food to barbecue and everything.
Absolutely, right. So there's quite a few places in Philly that, and I can't even really name one in particular. I kind of just have a few different ones that I go to when I'm up there. And and one thing's for sure, now that I live in Delaware, when I go back to Philly, a lot of times I have to make sure before I leave the city that I stop, and my husband won't let me come back without one. He's like, don't you come back here without a cheesesteak. Because he's not from Philly.
Yeah.
So he just like, oh, I need one of them Philly cheesesteaks when you go up there. Please bring me one back. I'm like, all right, say less.
I assume that the distance is not that far to travel for the cheese, for it to still be good.
45 minutes to an hour.
Okay, so that's not bad now. Okay.
It's not bad. Now, there is a place, I will say there's one place that I will name. It's called Jimmy's.
Okay.
Jimmy's Cheesesteaks in Philly. I can't give you the address right now, but if you look up Jimmy's Cheesesteaks in Philly, theirs are delicious.
And what makes them better than Max?
I don't know. I mean, you can request, like, I like my cheesesteaks with provolone. So, it's just the way they cook them. They're actually not really greasy. And I like the fact that they're not greasy. And you could just, It's just the way they make them. It's like they make the steak just right. They don't put too much steak. It's not too little. It's just the right amount of meat in it. And all you need is so flavorful the way they season it. All you really need is the cheese steak, your choice of cheese, and like fried onions and peppers. That's it. You don't even miss the ketchup, none of that. That's all you need on it.
All right.
Maybe a little bit of Italian oil, and that's it.
Okay. Make sure I go try out Jimmy's next time we're up there, and see what it's all about. So if it's not good, I'm gonna send you my bill.
Okay, all right, I got you.
Oh man! And if it is, I'll just
post them and tag it.
We'll definitely post and tag. I do a live stream from the restaurant trying the food out.
Okay, there you go.
There we
That's
go.
right.
That's what I'll do. All right. So of course, when you're not doing the music thing, you're not working. What are some of the hobbies that you do to relax with, either by yourself or with your family?
So I come from a family of 12 siblings. And pretty much everything I do outside of working in music is with my extended family.
Okay.
I have 2 children and I'm married, but my sisters, like, we're all so super close. I have 5 brothers and 6 sisters, rather.
Oh, wow.
12 of us total. So we're always just trying to, like, connect. Okay, who's doing what this weekend? And that's like my favorite. That's my absolute favorite thing to do, to get with them. We'll go see a movie. Like recently we went to see Color Purple together. Okay. We all live in different parts of the city, and a couple of us are down here in Delaware. So we'll all connect, and we might go bowling. We might go see a movie. We might just go hang out at one of our houses, And other than that, I like watching movies. I'm a movie buff. And I enjoy, more than anything, traveling.
Okay.
I love to travel. Yes.
Amazing. Is there a special place that you must go to, or a dream vacation?
Jamaica.
Okay.
Montego Bay, Jamaica. I could go. I probably at some point in my life will get a place there because I just love it. I can't go to Montego Bay, Jamaica enough. I never get tired of it.
So I guess it's time to just go ahead and book you some shows later, right?
That's right. See, now we talking. See, Terry, and that's where, if you read my bio, I talk about that. I want to expand globally.
Yeah.
Definitely. I want to get to Africa. That's definitely on my checklist. I want to get to some parts of Africa. And expand globally. Maybe a colleague of mine, she's over in Dubai doing shows. So, I have a family right now to raise. I got a couple more years countdown, and my girls will be out the house. So, counting down. Geez.
Well, maybe you can get into the when they book you, just include the family in there so they can go too.
Oh, there you go.
So there we go. We can just
exactly.
you can say that they're your assistants, because technically they will be.
Right. Yeah.
So outside of that, when I know you say that you enjoy traveling, you in the movies. So what, as an artist, because I know sometimes as an independent artist you have to come out of pocket pretty much for 99% of everything. What keeps you inspired to keep going, despite all of those things?
I would say more than anything, it's my passion. I tell people, I did a magazine interview, and in the magazine interview, it asked me a similar question, and I kind of went into how I don't think, unless you have a God-given, so you can have a talent, right, or a gift, but you may not have a passion for it. And what I mean by that is, so like some of my siblings sing, they like to sing, but a couple of them are like, no, I'll sing in the background. Oh no, I'm not. Don't give me the mic, And they can sing, but they don't have a passion for it. Mm-hmm. And when you have a passion for it, it eats away at you, so to speak.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and you know what I mean. If you're not doing that thing that you had that passion for, you feel an emptiness. Mm-hmm. Everything in your life could be amazing. You could have an amazing marriage, kids, your job's amazing. But if you're not pursuing that passion, it can leave an emptiness. I guess that's the best way I could describe it. So that's what keeps me going, because when I don't pursue my gift and my passion, I suffer. Mm-hmm. And that may sound crazy, but there was a time in my life where all I had going for me was my music. In my younger years, I actually was able to just gig full time. Mm-hmm. And it was just everything to me. But my personal life was horrible.
Yeah.
So now fast forward, my personal life's amazing. My family life's amazing. And I had to put my singing on the back burner because I knew the demand of music on me. And when I get in, knee deep, I'm in it.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to forsake my family. So I put it on the back burner. And even though I was in an amazing place in my personal life, I had an emptiness. Yeah. I felt like I was suffering. I missed the stage. I missed the mic so much that, all I could ever think about was getting back to it. And now that I'm back to it, and I've learned a lot, I'm more mature, I've grown in a lot of ways. Now that I have the knowledge I have, I'm able to balance both. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know how to find that balance. Yeah.
Because that's one of the questions I ask too, like, how do you find, balance with work, music, and family? Because not everybody is good at those things.
Right, absolutely. You hear a lot of stories about artists who literally hit the road and leave the family behind. Mm-hmm. They leave the kids behind and they say, hey, good luck, I'm going out here and I'm pursuing my career. And I'm passionate about my music, but my family means everything to me. So to me, going forward, so to speak, if I was to get, say if somebody said, oh, Shana, we want to take you on a 6-month tour. Okay, what does that entail? Because if I can't see my family for 6 months, I can't do it. Yeah. I've learned throughout my career that, you are able, if you play your cards right, you are actually able to dictate your career. And I love that about today's music industry. Mm-hmm. You don't have to let it control you. You can control it. And that's what I liked about being an independent artist. I can lay my pegs wherever I want. You know what I'm saying? I can lay my pieces where I want them to be. I don't have to let somebody else dictate to me. You're doing this, you're doing that, you're going here, there, and this is what it's going to take if you're going to do it. No, I'm not. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you this is what I'm doing, and this is what you have to add into it to get me to do it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, it is.
It really is. There's two sides to it, though. You mentioned about the expenses of it. So, in a perfect world, I would get this amazing record deal that would put all this funding behind me. Mm-hmm. That, get my music recorded, promote me, distribute me, blah, blah, blah. But if I did it that way, I would be enslaved to that record label. Yeah,
that's the only downfall of that.
Right. So, this is what Todd Dulaney would always talk about. He would say, if I could make it, because he's an independent artist. I don't know if a lot of people know that. He does fall under, he did a lot as an independent artist, but he is also under the MNRK Nashville label. Mm-hmm. But he stresses to independent artists, you can do this as an indie artist and stay as an indie artist and be successful at it if you do it right and strategically.
Yeah.
I feel like, you may have to move at a slow pace because, like you said, budget comes into play and everything's super expensive. Mm-hmm. So I just kind of try to strategize what makes sense right now. Do I want to put $3,000 into recording, or do I want to put $500 into recording and have a crappy album and then put another $2,500 into promoting? Or what's the point of promoting it if it's not a good product?
Yeah. Because it has to be good all the way around.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which
so
is...
there's a lot of strategizing.
Yeah. Got to be strategic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know, and as you go along, you meet amazing people like yourself.
I try. I try.
You know, artists like me come across people like you that really have a sincere heart for helping indie artists and for helping, you know, to get the music in people's ears. And, you know, there's a lot of scams out there, but there are also some good people that are sincere about helping others get there. And I thank you for that. I thank you for your sincerity and what you're doing for this industry. It's not go unnoticed.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, you know, like I always tell people, you know, I'm just trying to help wherever I can because, you know, it's great music out there. Just, you know, some people, they just need a little help in getting it heard, you know, because, like I said, you know, it's so much. You know, I think last time I seen it's like almost 2 billion music artists, but only like 2% even get heard.
Wow.
So it may not be 2 billion, but I know the number was like ridiculous.
Yes.
But on like 2% or something like that get heard.
Wow.
On mainstream radio. So,
wow, that's crazy.
It's crazy. So I'm trying to be one of the ones to help change that.
Yes.
So.
And that's awesome because it can definitely become a very discouraging thing.
Yeah.
It's so easily to get discouraged in this industry, and especially when you see all the people that are just trying to just pull from you.
Yeah.
Oh, I can offer you this, but it's going to cost you $10,000. I don't have $10,000. I'm an indie artist.
And if you had 10,000, I'm pretty sure that 10,000 would go towards something like for the house or something. Yeah.
So speaking of which, I've tried to find ways to generate income for just my musicianship. You know, I can't keep going to my husband and say, "Oh, I need another 3,000 to record, or I need another 2,000 to promote." We have bills to pay.
Yeah.
So I've tried to you know, make ways to generate. You know, I have a cash app. People can donate, or like what I was saying when I went and sang "Forgive Me, Lord." The pastor, you know, God touched them to bless my ministry and to seed into it. And I just constantly pray. And you know, the pastor that blessed me that day, his message was God pays attention to the details. When you pray, you may not even say, you know, the Bible says, write the vision, make it plain. But even if you don't write it out and speak it out, God knows your heart.
Yeah.
And he knows the details, even if you don't verbalize them. And he cares about that. And when that pastor blessed me with that, that was exactly on that path, because that's all my prayers have been. God, please, I need you to help me to stay encouraged in this. Make a way, Lord, for me to be able to afford to continue to do this. Leading up to going to this church, and lo and behold, this man blesses me with exactly what I needed to work with this producer. And I said, God, you something else.
He is.
He is something else, I'm telling you.
Yes, ma'am. So, yeah, that's, you know, God will always do some miraculous things, like even when we're not expecting them, you know.
Absolutely.
So I always tell people, you know, when he's ready, he's going to move.
Right. Yep. You just got to be patient, and he knows your heart. So you seek after him, and you believe in him, and you have faith and patience. It's a matter of time. You know, and that's the other thing with this artistry. You have to consistently do it. And that's what keeps me going as well. If I give up or get discouraged and let that affect me, then I'm going nowhere fast. Like if I'm praying and believing God to take my career somewhere, I have to do the work. Faith without works is dead.
Yeah.
Right? So we have to do the work for God to bless it. So that also keeps me going. Like, all right, God, I can't give up. And if God the Bible talks about a gift and a talent. If God blesses you with a gift, he sees you worthy of that gift. Now think about that. He could bless anybody with a gift, But if he blessed you with it, he feels that you're worthy of carrying that gift. So who am I to say, okay, God, thank you. You blessed me with this, but I'm not going to do nothing with it because I'm too scared. I'm too doubtful. This ain't going to work out. Who am I to say that? If anything, I'm saying, oh, thank you, God. I'm worthy of carrying this gift. Okay, it's my job to give it back to you.
Yeah.
Right?
Indeed.
And if you do that, there's no way he's not going to bless you in it. There's no way.
I wish more people would understand that. And they probably, because if they did, they're probably way further than what they are.
Absolutely.
And that's in any area, not necessarily musicianship, but just in any area of life, probably be a whole lot further.
Right.
So before we get out here, I have a few more questions, and then we'll wrap it up. What are some ways that you take care of your voice? Because as a singer, you gotta be conscious of sometimes of what you eat, what you drink. Can't be doing a lot of yelling and screaming at the kids and all this, or the spouses or anything. So, what are some of the things that you do to make sure your voice stays healthy?
That is an amazing question because people don't realize the work that vocalists have to do to maintain a voice. And yes, you're right. It's the food you eat. So I have to really be careful when I'm around family. I'm a little hoarse right now. We had a Super Bowl party last night. And I was hard-headed. Oh, my goodness. And it's so hard with 12 siblings and almost 30 nieces and nephews. It's really hard not to speak loud. So I have to constantly stay mindful of that. Not talking loud, not talking excessively. I have like an acid reflux condition, so I have to elevate my head at night when I'm asleep.
Yeah, me too.
The reflux will affect my vocal cords. You too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bad.
So, yes. So I got to stay away from certain foods that will agitate that. Also, a major, like I have the Star Wars coming up. What I start doing, and probably within the next couple of days, I'm going to start filling up. I fill up a big thing, and I fill it with ginger water. And I drink that all day, every day, because you have to stay hydrated. And you have to get rest. You have to rest well. So usually when I have a performance like the Soul Awards coming up, for like that whole day or two before, I'm laying low, I'm in my room, I'm resting, I'm relaxing, and I also do a lot of vocal warm-ups before I even practice. A lot of strange sounds I gotta make and things I gotta do it, with my lips and mouth and all that. To warm it up before a performance, and it makes a major difference.
I know, just to touch bases back on your artistry again, not in a cocky way or a demeaning way, but what makes you different from other artists? Like for the promoters that's listening in, like why should they book you? And if and when they book you, what should they expect from Shana Simone?
So I was saying that a lot of artists were saying don't compare myself to others. But what I will say, which is a unique thing, is, like I said, I'm 4'11", I'm barely 110 pounds, soaking wet. And when I get on the stage, what I like promoters to know is that I can guarantee you when I step out there and people see me, compared to the next few seconds later when I start to sing, people never expect what comes out of me. So my dad is 5 foot. I think he's 5'4", and he's kind of a petite man. But my dad could stand in an auditorium with no microphone, 10,000 people, and they would all hear him. So that's one of my strong points. I'm a small vocalist, but I have a big voice.
Yeah.
So I try to engage my audience, and I always try to let my audience see the passion behind my singing, and for them to feel what I'm singing to them, and feel the words, and feel the impact of them, and get people to grasp my message.
Yeah, and I think as artists, that's one reason. Let me back up. The reason I asked that question because I think each artist should be different from each other. Because if we have 10 Kier Shears, what's the point of that? Or 10 Travis Green or Todd Delaney's, what's the point of that? It should be one of each person. Because nobody want to see, well, I guess, I know me personally, I don't want to see the same artists over and over. Even with the radio show, even if I played some of the same artists, it would never be quote unquote the same song in the same order. I'll flip it up. Yeah. Even though I know there's some stations that do that, I just can't do it because I hate the repetitive cycle. But it's just me.
Monotonous.
Yeah.
Right.
Because that's why even with some artists like they tend to do the same show every city, so you always know what's coming before they even do it. So I think you should keep people guessing. Cause that will keep them engaged.
Yes.
So yeah, that's just my 2 cents on it. But I don't want to get us in trouble with the gatekeepers per se. Those people. So I'm gonna let that go. So of course, the big news this week. Of course, we have Love Light, the official release. Of course, we've been playing it, and a few other stations have been playing it too. But the official release is this week. So are you excited about that?
I'm so excited. It seems like the days are going by so slow because the song has been done, but I tried to, logically pick a release date. And the song Love Light is about shining your love light, digging deep inside of yourself and tapping into that thing that's going to make you shine through no matter what you're going through, no matter what you've been through, and, to tap into that part of you that's still going to let that light shine. Jesus is the light of the world, and we are his children, so we're supposed to shine as well. So that's I'm excited about it because Love Light is groovy, but it has an R&B feel to it, and I feel like I feel vocally strong on that song. I sang it on the recording to where I want people to be able to feel like they can sing it with me. But when I get on the stage at the SOAR Awards on March 4th, I'm going to even take it to another level. So I'm excited about it because I'm comfortable vocally, like I said. So I feel good about performing it live because I'm even able to give people a notch above what I did vocally on the actual recording.
I know the first time I heard it, I immediately went and grabbed my guitar and started playing along to it. So it definitely is a great song, guys. If you haven't heard it yet, of course, you can hear it tomorrow as well. It's gonna be in the mix. I'm not sure where in the mix, but it's gonna be in that first part because we're gonna run the interview. So of course, it'll be around that same time. So of course, guys, if you haven't on, you must have been sleeping on the rock, but because we've been playing it. But it's a great song. Keep asking for it, and we're gonna keep playing it till the file can't play anymore.
Awesome.
So before we go, can you give a way that the people can sow into your ministry? Also, before you go, give a way, like a payment method people can sow into your ministry as well as your social media handles so they can go support that way as well.
Yeah. Okay, yes, for sure. You guys can find out more about me on my website, shanasimone.com. I have Cash App, Shana Simone Sings, SHANASIMONE Sings. If you feel led to bless me, with a contribution so that I can continue to do what I'm doing, so that I can continue to let God use me. I'm on Instagram as Shana Simone Official, and I'm on Facebook as Shana Simone Wallace. My music is available on all digital streaming platforms, including Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, and YouTube. It'll be available for you to download, and you can also purchase it if you feel led to purchase it. It's available on the Apple Music Store, and and also if you want to follow my career, I'm on YouTube under Shana Simone Wallace. You can see my full performances on there. My concert I did last year, and get more insight on what I do on stage. And I post all the time on Instagram and Facebook, and you can stay tuned into Shana Simone's life and the exciting things I have coming up, including my performance on the SOAR Awards on March 4th. It's actually being televised for the first time. This is, I think, the 7th or the 8th annual SOAR Awards, and they got a contract with a major TV network. They have not told us who it is yet, but the SOAR Awards will be airing live on TV in June. So please stay tuned for that. I'll be posting the information about that as well as soon as I get it.
Awesome. Great news. Also, guys, too, she's going to be in some great movies this coming year.
Hey.
So, little birdie told me they're just finalizing some details, and they're going to send the official offer. So, guys, be praying that it's a great offer, and it can propel her career to the next level.
Yes.
So, just keep her and her family in your prayers, and so that God will send many blessings towards them, and they can just continue to be blessed and be a blessing to us as well as listeners and supporters. So for the promoters that's on here, you should book her like yesterday. I promise you won't be disappointed. She's going to be very professional and on time, and she's going to be a blessing to your church or workshop, conference or party, whatever you may be having. She's going to be a blessing to you and yours. So this has been Ontario Reshard, and I was joined by the incredible Shana Simone, and thank you again for being a part of this segment today, and we definitely will be supporting you daily and playing the songs Love Light as well as Forgive Me, Lord. As you release other music, we're going to push that as well. So I definitely appreciate you. And
thank you. Same to you.
Yes, ma'am. This was fun. So thank you so much.
Yes, be blessed.